Strange as ranked intelligence, IQ versus first impression. Wieso
Just like go
nicht?
down and do
Intros.
Yeah, I'm Sade. I'm 24. I work
Okay, Chat, wem würdet ihr sagen, sieht am intelligentesten aus? Der fucking Asian.
in finance. I have a bachelor's degree. I went to Yale.
I'm Tyler. I'm 21. I'm a high school graduate.
I'm 25. I'm a software developer. I went to Ohio University and I have a bachelor's degree.
Maria, I'm 30 years old. I have my PhD in cancer biology and I work in a biotech industry. Grad school, I went to University of South Carolina, and undergrad, I went to University of Florida.
Hi everybody, my name is Sean. I'm 27. I'm the director of social media for a company, and I also work for a digital ad agency. I got a double major in dance and cultural anthropology. Undergrad, I went to Loyola Marymount University.
Hi everybody, I'm Ray. I'm 24. I graduated with a bachelor's degree from Harvard recently. And I work
Wow.
in consulting.
Chat, ich hab's gesagt! Ich hab's gesagt, Harvard! Ich hab gesagt, der fucking intelligenteste.
I know, that's what I'm saying, is age a factor?
Yeah, it gives you like years of experience.
Well, I
Right.
guess we need to, maybe it's good to identify what intelligence means to everybody.
I think intelligence is better defined as your adaptability and your problem-solving skills.
Wait, jemand war
Is your
Yale?
Education, obviously, like the education, the stuff you've been through, puts a lot into play in it because it gives you more resources, more thoughts to draw from. The formal education definitely helps, but I don't think it's in any way essential.
So what is the most essential?
So the most essential thing was probably common sense.
Yeah, so for me personally, I think intelligence is both EQ, IQ, and that common sense, street smart intelligence, all of that combined.
People consciously or unconsciously, when they see someone, form an opinion immediately. Like I'm sure we all did right away.
When I saw you, I told myself, Maria, do not judge him just by his looks. He could be throwing you off, or that's just who he is, but he can talk the talk and walk the walk. Sean, I didn't want to judge him based on the way he looks or dresses or acts, so I was like, I think he's intelligent.
First impressions, I would put him at the bottom only because when I was in school, all the other people with like the bright neon colors and stuff, they were typically the ones doing worse in classes. If we were ranking confidence, I'd definitely put Sean at very first place.
So what is the definition that we're going with is the biggest question.
I like your definition.
I know, I was gonna say, I like my definition. It combines everything.
Does anyone have any like initial?
You can be honest.
Start on that side. I'm done going first.
I feel like I have a good combination of both, like book smart and street smart. So yeah.
You
I
think?
I have some input on that. There's so many aspects to intelligence. It really goes beyond IQ and EQ. Even those two different factors really don't really capture what it really means to be intelligent.
I know I'm not, from Yale, I don't have a PhD, but what I lack in those areas, I'm able to still problem solve and use my own skill set, my emotional intelligence as well as my social intelligence.
Besides my education and background, I feel like I have high emotional intelligence, like I'm aware of my surroundings.
As a software developer, my problem solving.
Der blonde Guy muss schlau sein, der redet so fest und verspricht jetzt nicht einmal. Dude, ich glaube nicht, dass er dadurch intelligent ist. I don't know, man. Er redet mir... Er wirkt mir zu arrogant intelligent, dass er wirklich intelligent ist. Versteht ihr, was ich meine? I don't know, man.
Skills are obviously top notch, I think I would say. My whole life I've kind of had to fight to be seen as intelligent. I think I'm so used to having to do that as a woman, to just step up and be like, I deserve to be here. My first job out of college, I was working on
my guess is,
as a woman to just step up and be like, I deserve to
entweder ist sie am intelligentesten oder er. Sie oder er. Es ist mein Guess.
be here. My first job out of college, I was working at a law firm. A gentleman came up to me and said, hi, you don't look like somebody that would work at a law firm. You look like somebody I'd go on spring break with. And I'm like, what?
Obviously, out of everyone here, I've got the least formal education. I consider myself intelligent. My mental dedication and my ability to adapt and to problem solve. What I do in the Marine Corps, I'm a seabird defense specialist. So I think that by virtue of what I do, that already requires some amount of intelligence.
Sorry, quick question. So do you think that only certain people can do your job, or do you think anyone can do your job?
Only certain people. You have to take the ASVAB before you go into the military. That's not really how much you know, but how well you can learn information. And I got a 94 on that. It's not an amount of how much you study, how much you know. You're not gonna really get better at learning. Does that make sense?
I strongly disagree with you don't get better at learning. The idea that you can get better at learning is a pretty big signifier of intelligence. I'm
kannst besser werden beim Lernen. What the fuck? Was ist das für eine dumme Idee? What? Der Guy, what the fuck?
Very much dyslexic. I have ADHD and I'm on the autism spectrum. Dyslexia means that there's a big gap in comprehension. So I was scoring 99%
Danke für den
areas and like
Gifted Sub.
third percentile
Danke für den Gifted Sub, dude.
in others. I'll never be able to learn another language. I took Spanish for 12 years and I can still basically only order a burrito.
So I have a question. Why did you go to Yale and why did you go to Harvard?
My parents are immigrants from China, and I'm a first generation immigrant as well and college student as well. My family always really stressed the importance of formal education. For me, that was something that I really strived for.
I wasn't planning to go to college. That wasn't like a goal of mine. My parents were like, well, you should apply to at least one college. And I was like, I'll never get in here. And then I went to Yale.
Why don't you guys rank each other from 1 to 6, including yourself, and give reasons why you want to do what you're doing?
I gotta go 1.
No.
Oh yeah. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I would rank you as a 6, not meaning that you're not intelligent. I also think that I don't place a lot of value on the military.
Period.
No, full stop.
I'd probably do 1, 2.
Ich schwöre, die denken sich selber. Das Ding ist, intelligente Leute haben mehr Self-Doubt als normale Menschen. Also, je intelligenter du bist, desto, jedenfalls emotionale Intelligenz, je mehr denkst du über dich selbst nach und je mehr siehst du dich selbst als kritisch. Intelligente Leute denken nicht, dass sie intelligent sind. Meistens. Das ist halt wirklich ein Fact.
3,
Und die haben öfters mehr Self-Doubt als andere.
4.
Aber Intelligenz bringt nicht. Intelligenz führt nicht zum Erfolg, Chat. Da bringt Narzissmus mehr. Es ist wirklich so, dass die meisten Narzissten sind erfolgreichere Menschen als Intelligenz.
5, 6. I'm sorry.
I'm the villain this episode.
Does anyone think they're like either end
What up, Toni? What up?
How's it going?
Danke für den Sub, dude.
of the spectrum?
Ich bin intelligent. Ja, yo, yeah, fucking. Chat, ihr seid fucking smart.
If nothing else, because I know what I'm about and I'm sure of that.
Wait, you guys have to rank everyone too. That is so unfair. No.
I would say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
Okay.
Weil der Guy geht nur. Der Guy, für ihn ist alles wichtig, was man zu beweisen hat. So, okay, man hat was gebracht. So, er war bei Harvard, deswegen ist er intelligenter. Sie war bei Yale, deswegen ist er auch intelligenter. Ich bin beim fucking Militär. 1.
I think 1.
Aber probably wird er der erfolgreichste sein, so bei Sachen. Maybe.
2, 3.
Außerdem denkt jeder, weil er Asian ist.
4, 5, 6. I'm sorry. It's hard for me to look past the education part. Going to college, I think you learn a lot, if nothing else emotionally, but I still think you're smart.
Oh, thank you.
Sorry.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, immigrant parents, first generation going to college, humble, modest. 2, me, I don't know, PhD, cancer biology scientist. I work in a biotech company. We make COVID-19 testing kits, stuff like that. And then 6. It has nothing to do with your background. I don't think you really have the highest EQ out of all of us. Tyler, he ranked last for me personally because the way he carries himself. He was ranking intelligence based on his point of view and not taking in other people's point of views and compiling results. But really just came down to his body language, his demeanor, the way he carried himself, the way he acted towards the group.
I would put 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and out 6. So the reason why I put you at number 1 is I think you have the highest, not only EQ score out of everybody, but the way you present yourself, as well as being a PhD.
Wie? Sie hat den höchsten EQ-Score. Wann wurde es gesagt?
Like a huge thing. But I put myself 6 because I feel like I might be the weakest in terms of actual IQ score. Hopefully I can make it up to everything else. So I did put myself as least intelligent. However, if it can't be me, I definitely think Tyler, unfortunately, his way of thinking is linear. And I think intelligence is almost like a sphere. It's a picture. And right now he's only coloring with one color than, with the rainbow.
So who got the most number 1s?
Weil sie outgoing ist. Jein. Sie hat nur am meisten geredet. Aber am meisten reden heißt ja nicht gleich IQ groß.
Thank you. Move down.
Who got the most?
Sean A was pretty up there too.
I feel like you were definitely 3, right?
Also für mich ist es einer der zwei safe Platz 1. Ray oder ich habe den Namen vergessen. Sie ist probably Platz 3, 4, 5, 6.
Yeah.
5 und der ist 6.
I'm between Harvard and Yale.
I think that I sort of expected to be ranked a little bit lower. At first glance and first interaction with me, it's hard to tell
Ich hab vergessen, was sie
how
macht.
intelligent I am. It's hard to tell how intelligent anybody is.
Is anyone upset with where they're standing?
I think it makes sense that I'm down here. Like the guy who graduated from high school and then joined the military, he probably wouldn't be like high up on there. If I was in their shoes, I definitely would have.
Ja, der ist so hurt.
I do feel like
Sein Pride is so fucking hurt.
in terms of ranking you
Okay, I was thinking that
highly.
too.
But I agree with the ranking. I think you probably are the most intelligent out of all of us. I would feel weird placing you there and not acknowledging the dynamics in which we did so.
Oh mein Gott, die machen einen IQ-Test. Der macht's auf dem Handy? Okay.
Hearing that I had to take an IQ test was definitely hard to hear. Quantifying things for me in that realm is
Chat, ich kann so falsch liegen. Maybe ist Tyler doch der fucking intelligenteste und zeigt das fucking jeden. Oh mein Gott, aber ich schwöre, seine Situation liegt gar nicht gut. Er ist gerade in dem Mindset mit, okay, ich muss jedem proven und ich muss jetzt erster Platz gehen. Aber deswegen macht er Fehler. Bin ich mir safe.
hard because it gives you something really solid. Even if you don't buy into IQ tests, it still gives you a number at the end of the day, which is something you have to grapple with.
I literally thought when you said to open the computer, we're going to look at social media, that I didn't think an IQ test would be part of it.
IQ misst soziale Kompetenzen, nicht Intelligenz. IQ misst nicht soziale Kompetenz, EQ misst soziale Kompetenz. IQ misst logische Kompetenz.
It was kind of expected. We're being ranked by intelligence, you know, an IQ test. It's not that far out the realm of possibility.
So number 1 is Raymond. Number 2 would be Kaylee. Number 3 will be Tyler. And number 4 would be Shada. Number 5 is Sean. And number 6 is Maria.
Das habe ich erwartet. Sie ist nicht. Das habe ich erwartet. Sie hat mir zu viel geredet. Ist close. Ist sehr close, was ich gesagt habe fast. Die haben sich getauscht. Tyler ist echt ein bisschen höher, als man denkt. Wow. Wow. Wow, 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 wow. Das habe ich auch gedacht. Sie ist jetzt nicht so. Okay, ich habe eigentlich den dritten Platz gedacht. Fuck, goddammit. Ich habe sie schon intelligenter als sie gehalten, aber ja, interesting.
I think an IQ test tests something. I don't think it's intelligence. It's definitely testing something. IQ tests are now known to be flawed and like based on.
Aber das Ding ist ja, Intelligenz besteht ja nicht nur aus IQ, ne? Wäre EQ noch dazu, wären noch andere Tests dazu, wäre es, glaube ich, trotzdem, dass die zwei in den Top kommen. Die und er. Die zwei kommen trotzdem in den Top. Sie würde auch in den Top kommen, glaube ich. Die würde höher gehen. Tyler würde viel weiter runter gehen. Ich glaube, die beiden würden sich streiten zwischen den Plätzen. Aber mad respect, man.
I think an IQ test tests something. I don't think it's intelligence. It's definitely testing something. IQ tests are
Ja, safe, die hätten andere Tests machen müssen. Die hätten mehr Tests machen müssen, nicht nur eins. Der eine Test reicht nicht.
and like based on
Weil ich bin mir sicher, sie ist intelligenter als die anderen.
correct sample sizes. I have really severe dyslexia. There's 2 questions on that test that I basically can't answer.
I'm sure if you studied for an IQ test, you would do a lot better.
Yeah.
IQ tests are just one aspect or one way to measure intelligence.
Meine ich ja, es ist nur eins.
What constitutes somebody as intelligent?
Before this, all I knew about IQ tests is that they existed, and the I stands for intelligence. I've never looked into IQ tests before. Coming here today, them saying the EQ, that was the first time I've ever heard that term in my life.
Coming back to intelligence is not Just your IQ, it's your EQ, it's your common sense, it's street smarts. Sure, it is some type of metric.
Die ist so verletzt, man, Chat. Die ist so verletzt.
Similar to an SAT and ACT score is a metric for getting into college, but there's more to that person than.
Aber Intelligenz heißt nicht gleich Erfolg.
I wasn't last because I thought I was gonna be last. Not gonna lie. I think an IQ test is a good indicator to see how people handle pressure, but I think that's easier to make sense in our heads that oh, you're smart and you're not smart.
De facto, sie hat komplett recht. Sie hat ja auch komplett recht. Aber sie ist trotzdem hurt. Ich stimme ihr zu, dass Intelligenz über mehrere Sachen geht, aber ich rede davon, dass sie trotzdem beleidigt ist, dass sie in den einen Part am schlechtesten performt hat.
Metric similar to an SAT and ACT score is a metric for getting into college, but there's more to that person than that test.
I'm actually excited I wasn't last because I thought I was gonna be last. Not gonna lie. Not smart.
Definitely don't think it's the best metric. I've been exposed to tests like these probably more than most people here. That already gives me an unfair advantage.
This is my villain redemption arc and climbing up the ladder.
Yeah.